Daily fantasy contests are now open for the new Premier League season. Build your lineup and accumulate points in real time. Download the Starting 11 app now, available on Android and iOS. Gameweek 10 was another frustrating one here, beginning with Wolves narrowly losing out to Brighton, despite dominating the game in terms of possession and goal attempts. Brighton scored from their only shot on target during the game, while only Chelsea and Man United took more than the 7 efforts on target managed by Wolves in Gameweek 10. With Robertson rested, Hazard unable to recover from a back problem, and Arnautovic and Højbjerg missing out through illness, only 10 players made it out in the end, with both Ryan Bennett and Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming off the bench. A late goal by Callum Paterson saw Alexander-Arnold lose the clean sheet against Cardiff, from what was the only effort on target conceded by Liverpool during the game. Marcos Alonso was the only defender to find a significant return, providing an assist and a clean sheet during Chelsea's 4-0 win over Burnley. Richarlison drew the foul that saw Everton awarded a penalty, and Gylfi Sigurdsson converted from the spot. 4 attempted assists by James Maddison in Gameweek 10 was on par with Ross Barkley and Anthony Martial, and more than Salah or Fraser produced, so the Leicester midfielder was again perhaps unfortunate not to find a return. But the bulk of points this week came from captain Mo Salah, who was directly involved in 3 out of the 4 Liverpool goals during the win over Cardiff. There were very few points contributed by the forward this week, with Alexander Mitrovic failing to score for a 4th consecutive match. Sergio Agüero missed a big chance against Spurs, taking a total of 3 efforts a goal with 2 on target and 2 from inside the box. But he was again withdrawn early, with 20 minutes of the game remaining. A score of 58 points was dead on the overall average, but saw a huge drop in rank down from 45,000 to 74,000. It's been a painful couple of game weeks, but there's still plenty of time to turn things around. There are 2 free transfers available for Gameweek 11, and there's a variety of ways to potentially use them. One option would be to make a straight swap from Rui Patricio to Lukasz Fabianski, ahead of West Ham's favourable run of fixtures. And whilst that move is tempting, it's perhaps a bigger priority to bring in Benjamin Mendy. His individual performance against Spurs was far from his best, but Man City have now kept clean sheets in 7 of their 10 league games this season, and have gone 6 consecutive games without conceding a single goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold is potentially someone to look to move on, due to concerns over rotation, following Dejan Lovren's return to the side. However, a second transfer would be needed to fund that move. One possible move under consideration is a downgrade from James Maddison to Callum Paterson, after the Cardiff midfielder has started in a forward role in recent weeks. Amongst midfielders, priced at 5.5 million or below, Paterson and teammate Josh Murphy rank joint first for shots inside the box, with 8 apiece. But Murphy has provided just 1 attempted assist in that time, compared to Paterson's 6. Newcastle's Kennedy and Huddersfield's Aaron Moy are other possible alternatives in that price range, with favourable fixtures on the horizon for both. The intention, whichever player comes in, would be to rotate them with Ryan Bennett and Aaron Wan-Bissaka going forwards, switching between formations with 3 and 4 starting defenders. For now, no transfers have been made, but here's a look at how the team could line up this weekend with those proposed moves. Somewhat reluctantly, Rui Patricio may end up staying in the team for now, despite a couple of tricky fixtures ahead for Wolves. They face Spurs in Gameweek 11, but Pochettino's side have only scored a very average total of 4 goals in their last 4 league matches. 10 teams have scored more goals in that time. 5 big chances conceded by Wolves over the same period is level with Spurs, only Bournemouth and Man City have allowed fewer. The aim in defence will be to field the big 3, Marcos Alonso, Andy Robertson and Benjamin Mendy. 7 goals conceded by Chelsea this season ranks 3rd best in the league, bettered by only Liverpool with 4, and Man City, who've allowed just 3 goals past them so far. Mendy's average of 8.8 points per game ranks joint top amongst defenders, with Alonso just behind on 7.2 points per game. Southampton are without a goal in any of their last 5 league matches, and only Huddersfield have scored fewer than their total of 6 goals this season. Eden Hazard is expected to recover from his back problem to face the Eagles this weekend, but with Chelsea having put 4 goals past Burnley last weekend, without the Belgian, is there a small concern of him being eased back in with a cameo? 10 goal involvements by Hazard this season ranks top amongst midfielders. Only Callum Wilson has more across all positions, with 12. Cardiff's Callum Patterson is a potential option to come into the side to fund the move for Mendy, and his underlying stats over the last 4 game weeks have been fairly strong. He's taken a total of 10 goal attempts, with 8 from inside the box and 4 on target. The only concern is whether 5.2 million is too much to spend on a player who is likely to be used in rotation, rather than as a starter every game week. It's an away trip to Arsenal this weekend for Mohamed Salah, and despite shipping just 4 goals in their last 4 matches, the Gunners have conceded 13 big chances in that time. Only Burnley have allowed their opponents more, with 15. 7 efforts on target by the Egypt international during the same period ranks joint 3rd amongst midfielders, with only Sigurdsson and Pogba attempting more. Everton's Richarlison completes the midfield, as Brighton travel to Goodison Park for Gameweek 11. The Seagulls have kept 3 consecutive clean sheets now, but they've conceded the 5th highest amount of shots on target in away games this season, with only Huddersfield, West Ham, Burnley and Fulham allowing more. Marko Arnautovic appears likely to return this weekend, having only missed Game Week 10 through illness. West Ham face a Burnley side that have conceded 35 shots on target and 17 big chances on the road this season, with Fulham being the only side to allow more on either account. We've seen a similar pattern emerge over the last 4 game weeks, where Burnley have conceded 11 goals, and again only Fulham have shipped more, with 15. It's looking tempting to downgrade Sergio Agüero, with the Man City forward having been subbed early in each of his last 6 league matches, but his home fixture against Southampton in Game Week 11 is likely to buy him some more time. Only Fulham, Brighton and Burnley have conceded more shots inside the box than Southampton over the last 4 game weeks. Alongside the Argentine is Aleksandar Mitrovic, another player who hasn't been pulling his weight in recent matches, and the underlying numbers paint the same picture. The Fulham striker has only found the target once during his last 4 outings, failing to register a single big chance in that time. The main problem here is the lack of options to transfer in, with the obvious replacement in Callum Wilson facing a very tough run of fixtures over the next couple of months. So for now, Mitrovic remains in the team, but even an away trip to Huddersfield doesn't look as appealing as it did a few weeks ago, on current form. Eden Hazard will be a strong contender for captaincy if he looks set to start against Crystal Palace, but whether we'll get certainty of him coming straight back in remains to be seen. So reluctantly, for now the armband is with Sergio Agüero, who in fairness has been performing well in home matches, despite the reduced game time. The Man City forward has been directly involved in 9 league goals at the Etihad this season, at least 3 more than any other player has managed on home turf. And no player has been involved in more than his 7 big chances, or taken more than his 23 efforts inside the box during home matches this season.